We good to go, man. What episode is this? Because it's
9,000.
First off, welcome back to us. We've been on a little vacation, getting it together, figuring some things out, and now we're back like we never left, stronger than ever. You feel me? So, I'm Javon. This is my co-host right here, Maxim and Moses, and this is Boss Talk. So
that's right.
You know what we always do? We got to come through with a Boss Talk, so I put a lot of thought into today's Boss Talk topic. I'm not going to call it like a word. It's more of a topic that I'm going to go over. All of these boss talks that I come up with is because I'm actually in environments where I am in charge and I have bossed up. And so I can really give you game and feedback on how you are supposed to act if you want to be an entrepreneur and how you should be in these settings. So today's topic is about reading the room. And the way that I'm going to go deeper into that is you should not be a person who is entering into a space with other shot callers, entrepreneurs, and boasting.
Right.
That's the worst thing that you can do. If you have to describe who you are, then you are not that person.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't just walk in and people just can't notice, like, this is who he is, this is who she is right off the bat, then you got to try harder.
Yeah.
That's what it really comes down to, is you got to put in more work to represent yourself properly. But if you got to come in talking about, I do this, and this is what I'm about, anybody who's really important or that can make an impact on your life, they already heard you and they're already like, okay, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% agree with that, bro. But sometimes people don't know who they're dealing with either.
Of course.
Which is, obviously, those people are dumbasses. If you're not able to tell who you're working with, why this person acts this way, obviously there's a reason behind it. Someone's not just acting some way for no reason. And if they are, they're a poser. But I agree with what you're saying, bro. But it goes on to the other side too. Sometimes people don't know and you have to show it. Again, not through words, but through action. Sometimes you just gotta fucking be like, this is who I am. Not through boasting.
Right.
But if you gotta put your foot down, your hand down, fucking roundhouse kick it away, and that's how you gotta do it. So I'm on that same tip.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of you. But besides that, I'm in a new era now. I just turned 30. My 20s era is done, and I'm in my 30s era. I feel like I've been getting tested because since I turned 30, right when I turned 30, dog, I got sick. Like the sickest I've ever been. I lost my hearing. It's still hard for me to hear right now because my sinuses are so bad.
Yeah.
And then on my way over here to the Boss Talk podcast episode, I'm loading up the gear in the car, and right there in my apartment complex, there's like these shady towing company, right? And they tow everybody, and they want you to pay them right there on the spot. They're just shady people.
Right.
So as I'm loading the car, this tow truck driver sees me, and then I look at him, and then he leaves. I'm like, all right, cool. I just have one more bag to get from my apartment. And I could see where I'm parked at from my apartment complex, right? So I run real quick, and I grab the bag, and I look, and this dude that's already coming around, like ready to tow my car. I book it, bro. I book it towards him. I go out, and I look, and he already has my car up. And I'm like, hey, man, come on, bro. You see me packing up the car. You know that I was about to leave. Like, can you just let it go? He was like, nope, sorry. No, can't do. I'm like, bro, please. Like, I have somewhere I got to be. Like, I've been having, a terrible week, this and that. I'm like, out of the kindness of your heart, can you let me go? He didn't want to do it. I have like the Gardeners right there. They're like, he already told 2 other people today too.
Damn.
And then I have another person right there, another person from the complex. And he's all like, bro, let his car go. Like, you guys do this to us all the time. You guys are all shady, this and that. Like, you guys are just trying to get a buck. And I'm like, bro, are you really going to be that guy? Like, you can't just let my car go. You really need this money. Like, you need to be this type of person.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, I got to make my money somehow.
Yeah.
Bro, that set me off.
But what's crazy about that is that I always ask myself, like, why would you want to take a specific type of job? I couldn't take, me, myself, personally, I could not take a job where I know that, like, the general public is going to dislike me.
Right.
Because I pretty much, I'm not gonna say I like everybody. I like decent people.
Right.
And you get to a point where now you're interfering with decent people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what that's like to be in that situation where, probably like the lowest point in my life, when I was really struggling, I pulled up, this is many years ago, pulled up to LA Film School.
Yep.
And bro, like, let's say the street said, don't park there at 12.
Mm-hmm.
At 11:59, I'm already walking out the building. I got there at like 12. The tow truck driver already got my car hooked up.
Yep.
And I'm pleading with the dude, still wouldn't do it. But it's like, it's heartless.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. Not me personally.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And the fact that this food, like, he pretty much admitted to, like, he's doing this shady stuff. As soon as I said, like, bro, you're doing this shady stuff just to make some money, he's like, I got to make some money somehow. Bro, when that set me off, like, I got in this dude's face. I started getting to a point that I didn't want to, that I don't want to get to. Right. I started being a person that I'm not anymore. And then I started seeing that in my mind. And I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this. If I do something, something's going to go wrong. It's Friday. I'm not going to get out till Monday, this and that. I got too much going for my life right now, So luckily I held myself back. I kept my cool. I just paid the dude. And I actually got on the phone with you and I explained what was happening. And shout out you, bro, because you were just like, bro, like, don't even trip. Just pay him. I'll help you out. You sent me money. And then I paid the guy, whatever. And I'll piss.
But let me say something real fast.
Yeah.
Before you even reveal the next information you're going to give, we're on camera. So that's how it ended. And just know that everything ended up good for you and not good for them. Right. You don't want to say the rest of that.
Right.
Okay,
right.
Here.
So God is good.
There you go. All the time.
All the time. And just, yeah, I mean.
But you know what, though? You said the key point, which is, it's a saying, you can't let nobody trick you out your spot.
Right.
And if for anybody who's never heard that saying before, essentially what it's saying is you got to look at the good things you have going on in your life, the blessings that you have going on, and you have to really evaluate, is it worth it for me to react in this circumstance and then set myself back?
Exactly. And that's exactly what I was thinking about, how I explained, like, bro, I could get locked up if I do this wrong thing. I'm going to set myself back after everything that we're accomplishing right now. Mm-hmm. How much, everything's going to go wrong. I'm like,
do you guys ever get this feeling? I was talking to my wife about this, that like, let's say from my perspective that none of this is real. They're not really here. You're not really here. This is just my test and everything that's happening is for me. But do you ever get that feeling about yourself? Like that everything is happening perfectly for yourself, a test for you.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Like I said, as soon as I turned 30, like all of this stuff is happening. Like my hearing, like I will never take advantage. I'll never take advantage.
No, granted.
I'll never take for granted like my health. Yeah. First of all, like this is the sickest I've ever been this week. It was crazy, but I'll never take advantage of my health again, ever, because I'm grateful to be able to run, to jump, to lift weights, to hear, to do, because there's people in this world that can't, and they wish they can. I have a car. I'm grateful I'm able to drive places. Yeah, I was going to get towed and whatnot, but I still have one. There's people that don't. But 100%. Yeah, man, life's just a trip. But I feel like I'm getting tested, and it hit me right at my 30s, and it's only going to make me stronger. It's like I got to keep going. Exactly, bro. You can't. Health is a very important thing, especially talking to someone who smokes 340 fucking 2 cigarettes a day. You can't take it for granted, bro. And it's good you see that. But another tip I want to talk about is that self-control. In any situation you're in, when you're getting tested, when it's the devil trying to pull up on you, bro, because everything is spiritual. People say like, there's no such thing as a coincidence. All right, buddy, or buddet, or whatever you want to be. But self-control is very important. Once you let that person get you mad or pissed, that person controls you essentially. Mm-hmm. Even if you mark that fool out, you stomp that fool out. And then what? You're not coming out till Monday, right? Yeah. All your shit's getting thrown back. Now you gotta pay fucking bail. The homies gotta come get you. It's like self-control is very important, and I'm happy that you had that self-control in that moment. Yeah, because we can always prove it, bro. But who is he to prove anything to? Yeah, he's doing his job. Like when we talked, I told you like this was lame ass job. Like like a parking meter fool, bro. Those are my arch nemesis, dog. I hate those fools. They're pull all up over LA, huh? Yeah, and it's like that's their job, bro. What are you gonna do? Slap him in the face for it? Like he chose a job that's already mentally slapping him in the face every day, bro. People see this one, they're like spitting on the ground and shit. Like self-control is important, bro. The important thing is you had that at that moment, and now we're here. We're moving on. We're fucking smooth sailing. It's all that matters, bro. Mm-hmm. You, as you get older, right? So I'm gonna tell you now. Welcome to the 30s. Yeah, it's nice up here, first of all. But welcome to those, and it's a good thing that anybody, regardless of age, starts to tell themselves that they need to mature in their actions and their decisions. I feel like it's a difficult stage, not the 30s, but like when you're telling yourself, like, I need to let go of these childish ways that I had. It's very hard. And even when you let them go, you still never truly let them go.
it's always there telling you, I'm gonna react like this. But you just become stronger, the more mature version of yourself, your subconsciousness becomes louder, because we spoke about this on another episode, how you have your conscious, which is straight up going to tell you, oh, you see some sugary food over there? I want it. But your subconscious is telling you, like, you already ate too much sugar today.
Yeah.
You need to chill out, right? But when you get more mature, that subconscious just gets louder and louder and louder.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing for you if that happens.
Yeah.
I'm glad, bro, that everything worked out the way that it did. I'm glad that I'm mature enough in my life, bro, to give you the advice that I gave you, because the older me would have been like, bro, pack him out. Like,
right.
Lay him down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
bro, if I was 29, if this was a week ago.
So that's a blessing,
funny.
man. I think that, man, it's been 3 weeks. So much has happened in the world. A lot of realization has happened. I feel like we are damn near on the brink of World War III,
Pertaining to.
Literally the world, the way that.
But specifically.
What
Israel,
do you-
Palestine, Ukraine, Russia.
I think it's even, definitely Israel is at the heart of this. That's what I feel. You already know, like, my thoughts on the genocide taking place over there. But even though that's, like, to me, that's very paramount, but I'm seeing something bigger that's happening. And I see the involvement of all these different countries that are taking place, as far as, like, these tariff wars that are taking place. Like, tariffs are coming out, tariffs are coming in. The conflicts that are happening within the UN, countries threatening to leave. Things are just getting very tense right now. And I feel like we have, as Americans in particular, I can't speak for people in other countries, but we're a very distracted nation. We're the consumers of the world. So we tend to not even really know what's going on anywhere until, like, it's already happened. And they just keep like, no, you're good. You're good. Here, take another Gucci jacket. Here's another car. Here's another thing to keep you distracted and make you think life is good. But yeah, it seems like we're close to that. The way that the economy is going. Again, I'm not talking American economy. I'm talking about, like, world economy, the way that things are taking place.
Right.
Do you guys feel like we're close to something cracking off like that? Or do you feel like it's just like another occurrence?
It's actually funny you bring this up, because last week I had a dream that we did have a World War III and we were getting invaded over here in America. But check this out. It was the weirdest thing. You've been right there on the street I grew up right there in Warwick, right? We were doing a Boss Talk episode, like, in the middle of the street for some reason. Weirdest thing, right? Yeah, it was dope. But until all of a sudden you hear, like, the sirens go off, and we're like, what the hell's going on? And then all of a sudden you just see, like, planes coming and bombs dropping, boom, 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 and we're right here like, what the fuck is going on?
Were you guys on the white couches?
They might have been. I don't know. I forgot. But I just know all of us were doing the Boss Talk episode, and then, like, all these bombs are coming, right? And we're like, what's going on? And we were kind of stuck. Like, what do we do? And I was like, let's run. So we started running right there to, like, my old pad where it's at, right? And we go in the backyard, and then all of a sudden we're like, what is going on? Are we getting invaded? And we look up, bro, and it's nothing but, like, I don't know if they're Koreans or what, but they're coming down in parachutes, bro, with guns and everything.
So you're basically dreaming about Red Dawn.
Yeah. that's what it felt like, bro. But it was the craziest dream. It felt so real.
I've actually had one of those dreams, bro. But mine was like almost a year ago. But it was crazy when I had that dream too.
Yeah, bro. I was tripping out. Like, all of us, like, were hiding, and then we were calling our families, like, come meet up at the spot and everything. And then we landed up, like, getting some soldiers and taking their weapons, and it was a trip. And I woke up and I was like,
how would you feel if, like, war did break out, like, at home? Like, how would you feel about that? If it broke out actually here, rather than us sending troops somewhere else, how would you feel if it broke out here?
Dog, I already know where I'm meeting up. All the Armenians have a secret disclosed location, which I can't give out.
Yeah.
It's secret and it's disclosed. But I have shit set up, bro. The guns are ready. I got more than like 1,000 rounds of ammunition. Like, bro, I got the MREs, the water bottles.
Happen.
Fuck. God forbid, but that's why I tell everybody, have your guns, have your fucking food, like the MREs, the protein bars, whatever that's gonna last you, a backpack set up, God forbid. So, like, I've already planned shit out, bro. Yeah. I got like 18 packs of cigarettes waiting just in case.
Yeah,
I'm ready, bro.
I think it's funny because as men, we think of war like a certain type of way, but it's a little bit different for me because, I have a full blown family.
Right.
So it's like, I know what I'm capable of. I know how I would be, but I have 6 people that I
you're
gotta,
a guardian,
You gotta protect.
right. And it doesn't bring worry to me, especially because I feel like my youngest, they just had their birthday on the 1st, April Fools. And so now my youngest are actually 4. So I have 2 twins that are 4.
Happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday to them too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. They think they're like at least 16, the way that they run around the house trying to like take over things. But I think that I would be really good with just like barricading where I'm at, and holding that down. Maybe that's the reason why people should get to know their neighbors a little bit better.
Exactly.
Instead of everybody being so secluded. I actually have a neighbor who will, like, it's weird, bro. Like, so me and my wife talk about this all the time. When I go out somewhere, if I see people, if you walk by me, I can't not acknowledge somebody.
Right.
It's not because I think you're so cool and I got to know you or anything like that. It's how I was raised. It's called Southern hospitality, and half my family's from the South. So it's just a thing for us. But you ever come across people who just, they act like they don't know you're even there?
Right. Yeah.
Like you say like hello and then they don't respond. And you're like, did I say it loud enough? I didn't say it loud enough, or they just don't like me. Or
Are
like,
you speaking of the white people?
No, I'm
Just
not.
people in general.
I mean, of course, this has happened with some white people, but I'm saying like it's been people of every race. Bro. I've had this happen to me numerous times throughout my life, where it's like you either nod at somebody, they don't nod back, or you say what's up, they don't respond at all.
Yeah.
And for me, that's intense. Like I could never be walking down the street and somebody say what's up, and I just like don't do nothing,
Right.
no reaction, no nothing. I can't do it,
Yeah.
So I just think that I do it because you never know when you're going to need that person or when they're going to need you.
Right.
When something pops off, but you guys have already spoken to each other before.
Yeah.
And you know who this person is and they know you to some degree,
By the way, white people, I love you guys. You guys are very cool, even though you chill in the cars for 18 hours after you guys are supposed to leave the parking lot. But
still on that.
All right, with that, we're going into the rant of the day. Go ahead, man.
I don't really, do I have a rant of the day? I do have a rant of
There
the
you
day.
go.
Real quick. Coyotes, bro. You fools are gay as fuck, dog. Literally,
Coyotes.
rat dogs, bro.
Wow, he's talking about the people that bring Mexicans across the border.
This fool, dog. No. Those are the coyotes. I'm talking about I'm talking about the breed like coyotes.
And they're all over.
They're dirty, bro.
In particular, they're all over Alhambra right now.
Yeah.
Like at nighttime. Matter of fact, you have like the Ring app set up, bro. Constant, like, did you guys see the coyotes? Like the coyotes and everything like that. And it's a trip, bro. I feel like psychologically, animals are in tune with the universe. They know what's up. So whenever I'm walking and like I see a coyote, like we get into a stare off and I'm like telepathically telling them like, I'll break every bone in your body, right? Just turn it around. And then they turn it around. Like they know what's up.
I mean, coyotes, they won't mess with humans though.
Well, they
if they're deep.
If they're deep,
they will. Bro, they're gonna push the
If they're deep, like
envelope.
If coyotes are really deep.
Bro, in
they'll
Burbank, because we're by the hills, dog, these was pull up like 9, 10, like gangbanging down the
I
streets,
never
bro.
seen that. That's insane.
Bro, and then they
see,
start
like,
howling and shit, and you're like, bro, it's like is somebody getting raped outside on my street? I that happened to me 3 a.m., bro. I got the gun and I fucking opened it, and these fools are like murdering a trash can. There's nothing in the trash can. They're just fucking the trash can up.
Well, I mean, their home was just set on fire. Max, have some empathy for them, dog. The fires messed them all up.
Bro.
Oh yeah, you guys are right, dog.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about
before that, though, they were still though.
Yeah.
They still were out before this,
I like them. They look adorable.
Until they bite you, bro. Like,
Yeah, I mean, true. But
Watch videos of them, bro. They're not dog-like. These fools are more like feral. They have no like understanding of like, oh, this fool wants to pet me or he's giving me food. Like you'll give this
I seen
fool
a coyote and a dog have a friendship in Alhambra one time. Actually,
Damn.
they were like known for like rolling together all the time.
So it was a cool coyote.
Yeah, it was a full coyote.
It was a one of a million.
Like a
that
random
sounds
dog.
like my boy was telling me about. It's like on Netflix. I'll look it up and I'll find it and I'll share it so everybody can look it up. Like a documentary of, I think it was like a dog or whatever that it was wild. It was like in the jungle and it got with the pack of like hyenas and they like took him in and then he started thinking he was a hyena and started acting like how they do.
Yeah.
So like animals could do that too, like traveling with other animals of a different species or whatever, and
It's like
following their
adapting to your environment.
Exactly.
Is like what it is.
right.
It's like that one family that lost their husky, and then they sent the drone, and they saw this fool just kicking it with a pack of bears.
Right.
Like the bears just took this fool and like,
Yeah.
Oh
you're
yeah,
with
that's
us
what I was
now.
thinking about. Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Hey, so like kind of rewinding a little bit, we're talking about potential like World War III popping off. And I think your boy is releasing music titled World War III or something like
it's
that.
It's crazy, bro.
So what do you feel about his antics right now? Do you feel like this is all just for show? Do you feel like
my chief journalist posted like a little editorial on it on One in a Million by Maximilian, the new greatest thing coming out, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But we were looking over, we were going through articles and stuff, bro. And I have people who are close to some big names in the industry. I don't want to say it, but what they told him is that, bro, Ye is not crazy. This is what my boy's telling me.
Mm-hmm.
That the homie from the industry is saying, Ye's not crazy. This fool is just marketing himself like crazy because he's banned off all DSPs, distributing platforms and shit. And he's bipolar, bro, for sure. We know the guy's bipolar, and I feel like sometimes he just has episodes where he
he's
just
banned
spazzes.
off of what though?
Like Apple Music,
But his stuff is
Spotify.
on Apple.
Yeah, because you're making money off him, brother. Same way how Kendrick's shit is on back then.
But you
But-
said it was banned. But like, what do you mean by banned? If he's still
They're not letting him post shit. But you know how hard it was for Kanye to post Vultures?
I
1
didn't
and
know,
2.
no.
It was very hard for him to post it. The only reason they let it is because he had some leverage with Ty. And like I think some the record labels got involved and they really had to push it some way. Because I remember when Vultures dropped, I downloaded the album, it got deleted. And then Ye would repost it. Delete, repost. So he's saying some crazy shit, bro. He's saying some wild shit, like, which I don't really care to go on. People can go on Google and read it, or Twitter, whatever the fuck. But I think it's marketing, but I think he's also kind of maybe just like pissed off at a lot of shit and he's just spazzing out. But that World War III song is crazy, bro.
I haven't heard it, to be honest with you. I just know that
it's out already.
The song is out, yeah. But he posted it on YouTube.
It's just a song, or is it going to be an album?
It's an album too.
Yeah.
The album is called World War III. By the way, the album cover is him in a KKK fucking garb with like a girl in front of him that's also in a KKK like fit. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Ye knows how to push the envelope. And you know what's crazy with Ye? Whatever Ye does, people are still gonna love him, bro. He's like I think Ye, he's not on no MJ level, but he's very close to that MJ where people love him so much where they're like, he made Graduation, bro. He made 808 and Heartbreaks. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna look at this because he's still coming out with bangers.
I think it comes down to where we are as people, and everybody has their own right to feel how they feel about like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
of course, they're all entitled to it, bro.
Yeah, like guaranteed, we've had this discussion numerous times, and I feel like the first 2 to 3 albums are like they're top tier when it comes to like hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Just the message behind it.
Record breaking, yeah.
And I feel like everything was on point. It was nothing, there was no gimmicks there for me. As a Black person listening to those first albums, there was no gimmicks there. This was all like, this was just excellent. Personally, you played that song, what is it called? Field Trip?
Field Trip.
Which
yeah,
I've been listening to like repeatedly now, right? Because I haven't listened to that album.
Knowing your kind of style of music, I think you would fuck with Vultures.
I'm sure I would. Just like I'm sure that if I go listen to a Drake album, I would like it. But for me, I just can't get into. I don't really separate the person from the music. I can't do it. We've had this discussion like numerous times, right? And so I'm willing to pass up on a lot of good things. Okay, here's another example. Like we're going.
But you're listening to Field Trip.
Yeah, because you played it. And I feel like that one, and listening to that song, like it's not so crazy to me. It's not so crazy to me, you know, like amongst other things. But I'll take it over to like the film, right? So when I got to a point where I wanted to make sure that I was like cleansing my soul and my spirituality of any like what I would consider pornographic material or whatnot, I stopped watching certain shows and films because I'm like, they're overdoing it. I'm willing to miss out on a whole good film or good show just to not have to sit through that. And that's how I am across the board of a lot of things where I could sit there. Like if I'm forced to sit down and watch something with you, I'll be like, yo, this show is epic. It's good. But I hate the fact that I had to watch a man's like penis fly across the screen.
Right.
Or like women just like titties out the whole time or all this other stuff because I'm not there for it. I feel like that really does. I know for a fact that all of that stuff does psychologically, it will do something to you, especially if you're in a relationship. It will change the way you view your partner. You, as a man, you will perform better with your partner if you eliminate all that stuff. Like 100%, you know, and this is for all you porn addicts out there still. Maybe I used to be just like you, but I'm telling you right now, you let all that go and things will change.
Yeah.
Things will change. So
I mean, yeah, it's true. That's why a lot of relationships, they lack that intimacy because you have
100%.
someone that's addicted to porn.
Yeah.
They don't know how to really be intimate with their significant other because of what this is showing you.
Right.
You know, you have like kids that are watching porn and they don't really know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Right.
And they're just getting fucked up. That's what I always say, bro. The world, nothing is for us. Everything is against us. The only thing that we may have that's for us is God. But our food's against us. Our media's against us. Even the fucking people around us who say they're for us are against us also. It's like, what do you have but your family and God at the end of the day? So
we have this podcast.
Well, we have this podcast for sure. But
and now your podcast too.
I'm speaking, yeah. By the way, it's not only a podcast. 1 in a Million is essentially gonna be the next like world star, bro.
Okay.
It's in news. We're posting news out like everything, bro, that you can imagine. Viral clips. It's pretty much a media. It's not media like how you guys are doing it. Production. Mine is like a multimedia platform. We're platforming artists, we're platforming comedians, where I have the podcast under 1 in a Million, the main company. We got the 1 in a Million by Maximilian podcast under that, which is all getting posted. Essentially the next world star, and so far it's going very well. A lot of people are helping us. You came for the first episode. We had a good little episode. Got a little toasted.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, it's gonna be very big.
Yeah, man. I wish you well with that.
I appreciate you, bro.
You know, I just think that with everything, even this, I'm not going to say like we did any poor planning or anything like that with this podcast. This is growth. And it's interesting to see something from the beginning that will grow to be big. You know what I mean? So like I said, we wish you well with that. And in the meantime, we have this. And I think that as you spoke about, like nothing is for us. That's why this right here for me is so important, because this is somewhere where I can put something out into the world that I believe is genuine. Right. You know, rather than you don't have to wonder. I'm not doing anything for no marketing. Yeah. I'm not doing it. There's no gimmicks. Like, you are getting 100% my thoughts, and I would assume 100% everybody's thoughts here.
Why would you assume, bro? That's what it is, dog.
Because I'm not inside of you, dog. Like, that's why I'm not in his head or yours. Right. So you can know what I mean? It's like you don't know another man's heart. For all y'all,
I know all you guys, heart. I can tell.
Hey, for all you know on the camera, I'm lying. I'm over here about to go toot some crack and do some other things when I get up off this couch, you know? So that's all I mean by that. It's no disrespect or anything. It's more so just being politically correct in how I word that. But with that being said, bro, like, you know, we had to get in here and film today, and you said you're heading to Vegas tonight?
Type shit for business. Business related activities.
That's what I always say.
He's gonna handle business, right?
Yeah.
He's standing on business.
Are you driving or are you flying?
I'm gonna probably drive, bro. Cause I'm gonna take some fam with me too. Cause we got a house out there in Nevada. So I'm hitting like 2 birds with a stone, bro. I have I would say 3, because I have like an expo that I'm getting into. I have some mutual people that I need to meet that are also in the industry, and I gotta see this pad, bro. I haven't seen this pad whatsoever. So go do the manly shit that's needed, move the heavy stuff around.
Yeah.
And yeah, just fucking maybe find a library by like Las Vegas, go chill, coffee shop it and shit.
He said all the things he's not gonna do now. Right? There's a strip club called the Library.
Called the Library.
Yeah.
Seriously, though?
There really is, yeah.
That's wild.
Don't go there, bro. We're not for that. Stay away from the strip clubs. But it's funny because it's always a good time in Vegas, man. Like, I don't think that even the worst time I've had in Vegas was still a good time.
Yeah.
You know?
Vegas is fun.
It is. It is fun, you know. Food for me. Yeah, that's my number one thing. Bro. Like, I know I'm different. I know I'm boring to you guys out there. You're talking about, what about the strippers and the drugs? It's not me. I'm anymore. It's what I'm about is like food. And they have some fire food all throughout Vegas, you know? So
it's cool. If you're not for the strippers, I know 100% Moses is for the strippers, dog.
I mean, I'm single.
There you go. See, that's what I'm saying, dog.
Nah, I've had some good times over there in Vegas, man. I mean, being younger and whatnot. But the last time I was over there had to be like a year ago. I was over there a year ago on business.
On business.
For Big Boy.
Started on
He got
business.
me a suite. It was very nice. Nicest spot I've ever been. And then, yeah, that was it. But before then, yeah, I've had some crazy times over there where definitely blacked out, walking the strip and losing a lot of people and then finding my way back, having to get my own room, you know, waking up with girls I didn't know. And
That Vegas trip.
that's Vegas for you.
Yeah,
Vegas is wild, bro. And there's even bitches that'll go and I'm calling them bitches because it's in context. They'll be going into like the Wynn bars or anywhere, like those high up hotels and shit. And they'll be looking for guys who has a rollie on. They got that Dior and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll just pull up like, hey, let's go to a hotel. Let's fuck around and shit. And they drug these fools, bro. And they date rape their asses,
Right.
finesse some shit. And these motherfuckers wake up and their shit's gone, bro. And that's fucked up. So people need to be careful in Vegas. Luckily, I'm not on that tip, bro. I'm going to go and be nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Have you ever seen that movie Hustlers? That's with
Dude,
J-Lo.
Bro, you know I don't watch these movies, dog.
You're not a movie guy. All right, well, this
I
movie
am the
Hustlers.
Gladiator.
Gladiator?
So you've
Of
seen Gladiator
course.
too?
Not the second one.
Okay.
I watched the first one because the fool's name is Maximus, dog.
Yeah.
Wait,
Well,
did you like part 2?
I did like it.
Yeah, it was cool.
Somebody said something like they didn't like it. I'm looking at them. I'm like, what did you not like about it?
I liked
I need
it,
to watch
but
that.
obviously
I'm gonna
part
watch
one
that
is
for
just
Oh, of course,
phenomenal.
So
bro. Of course, number one. is
heartbreaking
like,
the first
yeah.
one, bro. The way it ends, like that
but it's a
should
straight
make you cry,
continuation,
bro.
though. That's what's fire about number 2. It's not like a whole nother.
Isn't
it's
it like
literally-
20, 30 years past though?
Yeah,
Something like
It's
that.
like the sun lands up coming up and
But look, so I saw the commercial and there was like some demonic animals that were in the Colosseum. Did they add like some sort of mythology into that shit?
No.
No.
There was no. I don't. What is he talking
Bro,
about?
in the
Just like
commercial,
probably
they're
the
literally
sharks or
Well, you
something?
because no, just remember, bro, that like how much animals have. I don't even want to say evolved because they've gotten weaker, right, over time.
Right.
bro, they look like demonic hyenas.
They
But
were
they
were-
looked fake, but they did not look something that was my boy was with me when we were looking at the commercial. Like, what should we like flip on? We were at the
Yeah.
homie's shop and we were just like bored. And he's like, I thought the Gladiator was like more on
realism.
nonfiction type shit. Yeah, like realism, like realistic.
It is.
But then we saw that and he's like, what the fuck? This is fantasy.
Well,
bro.
here's the thing for you. You know, a lot of history. I feel like bro, they messed up history intensely.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like I feel like they hid a lot of things. You know, I'm not even going on to no tinfoil hat type stuff. I'm just saying they hid a lot of things. And I believe that a part of the reason for them doing that is because they want us to think that we are the best that we ever could have been. That we should not relate to like our ancestors because they were dumb, they were uneducated.
But they were smart.
They were
Cool.
super
they
educated.
were way fucking
You know, they were
stronger than
in
us.
tune with things.
Mhm.
If anything, we're dumb. Like I don't even know how to do nothing without this device right here, bro.
Right,
Like
that's
I
what
don't,
I'm
I can't
Imagine-
navigate nothing. If I go outside right now, I'm never making it back to our hammer. I'm going the wrong direction.
You know what's crazy? So imagine, bro, the pizza delivery guys in like the 2000s opening up a map and shit,
I
and
know,
then
yeah.
they would have if we're not here in 30 minutes, you get a pizza for free, and it's like a new fucking white workers like fuck.
Bro, but
He's
yeah,
like, I might as well just take one of these slices.
Yeah, straight up, bro. I think I'm gonna get fired today. That's wild, bro.
They
Yeah,
talk about like ancient civilizations and like how they were actually more superior
mm-hmm.
back then too. I know Joe Rogan talks about it a lot too.
Joe Rogan is
That's my boy.
yeah. I fuck
But-
Joe dog.
Have you guys seen that? I was watching the scene. It's called Ancient Aliens.
Of course, with the dude with the big old hair.
Yeah, you
And
seen
it's
that?
like there's this thing, like it's all-
Yeah, that's when it's like 12 at night and you're flipping through shit and
Yeah.
you see that fool just posted like that. Like,
it's a trip, bro. But they have like all those. Have you seen those lines in Peru?
No.
Where it's like they could you if you're up in the sky,
from an area.
they have like all these type of different-
designs in the crops.
Yeah, have you
Yes.
seen that?
Yes.
And they're saying like that goes from Peru to like this, like the whole other side of the world, and like there's this type of energy right there. And then the other side of the road, like they match, and it's weird, like the way they add up. I'm not explaining it good at all, but the way
I get what you're saying.
you know?
The pyramids are like that too,
Yeah.
bro. When you look, they're aligned under like all the constellations,
Mhm.
right?
didn't they find like a bigger pyramid, like the biggest
Under
pyramids
it.
in Antarctica or something like that?
They say it's in Antarctica. They say there's even a pyramid in Mars, bro. They said that they've caught some like footage of it. All I know is that these pyramids are not what they're telling people they are. I don't think it's a pharaoh's. I think this is legit energy. Like they use these pyramids to harness energy. And again, we need like a Joe Rogan to go deeper on it because I need my facts. I need to do my research because I don't want to talk about shit then have some fucking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
just think it's interesting.
It's very interesting, bro.
I'll
It's
give you one.
crazy.
Look, I put it to you like this. So I'm gonna kind of like, I can't give you like the exact details, but I did research. I've been researching so much crazy stuff for so many years that sometimes I forget that I had researched that something that I've had my mind blown like 40 times, you know, in the past 10 years or whatever. But basically, when you look at Egypt and you look at the structure of pyramids, during the time of that civilization, they were not like migrating or traveling too far away from Egypt. They were just right there. At the same time, I'm trying to think, where is this at? Is it like Thailand or I'm not sure. I think it might be Thailand, but for sure, like where the Mayans are. At the same time, the Mayans never had any contact with the Egyptians, and they also never had no contact with this other group. Like I said, excuse me if I'm wrong about who it is, whether it's India or Thailand, I don't recall.
There's pyramids in India too, right?
But these three places, they all at the same time were developing pyramid structures.
Yeah.
And they never had any communication with one another
whatsoever.
And also, you know what else is a trip about it? I tell people this all the time. This is what, if I were to tell you like, hey, what type of animal do you want to represent yourself? What would you say? Like you, what animal would you say to represent you?
It's probably like a wolf.
Your family crest. Okay, a wolf. You?
An Armenian lion.
Thank you. Would anybody here think to pick a snake?
No.
I mean, some dirty ass motherfucker. Nobody here for sure, but like,
Right.
you know, there's some creepy motherfuckers.
But I'm just saying, you have like, bro, you would think people are gonna pick something that symbolizes like mass
honor,
and power.
yeah.
No, not even honor, just like big, bro. If a snake was big, then I would understand it. Bro, I could even understand somebody saying an alligator, whatever, right? But why would you pick something that could be stomped out? You know what I mean? Or something that has to crawl around, slither around on the ground. The trip is that all three of those places that I was just talking about, they all held snakes up high. The pharaoh's crown, or whatever you want to call it,
they have the snake shit coming out.
A snake on top of it. They held snakes up high. The Mayans held snakes up high, and so did, like I said, for anybody watching this and I look stupid to you or whatever, like that's fine. Just go look into what I'm saying, and you will find that third country or nation that I'm speaking of, civilization, they also hold snakes up high. What's the irony behind that? That three nations didn't communicate with one another. All three of them picked a snake to represent them, and all three of them were developing structures that you know Europeans will tell us aliens had to build, which I don't go for that. You know, so that's something interesting to look.
So
into.
is it aliens or is it fallen angels?
I believe that
because when you look at the comparisons between the Nephilim, which is the term for fallen angels, and you look at
that's the giants.
No, Nephilim is fallen angels. Trust me.
The Nephilim is these are a race of giants.
Bro, let's
look it up. I could be wrong, but my knowledge on this is those were giants.
Let's ask Pincha Siri. Siri, is the Nephilim fallen angels or giants? Nephilim. The Nephilim are mysterious beings or humans. What? The angels created the Nephilim. Who are the Nephilim? Just give me like three different fucking Pincha
So the Nephilim
Siri,
were
bro.
created by what I know from the angels came down. They saw women and they slept with women. So when you get your stories like Hercules and whatnot, that actually can come. That could be real. You see what I'm saying? Based off of biblical truth. So the Nephilim were a race of giants that were created from the angels coming down and sleeping with human women.
So this is what it says. The identity of the Nephilim mentioned in Genesis 6, 1-4 is a subject of debate, with some interpretations like suggesting they were the offsprings of the Son of God, interpreted as fallen angels and human women, while others view them as giants or descendants of Cain and Seth. So yeah, there's different.
No, but
it said both of ours.
It's not even I don't know why it said that, because it's not a debate. It's all of those things. The fallen angels, they can't. I'm not even going to call them fallen angels. Angels came down, saw women, slept with them.
Yes, but they're fallen, bro.
Okay,
I know the backstory of this.
I'm
supposedly, if you look into the
book
book of Enoch and stuff, which is not canonized in the Bible, supposedly God sent angels called the Watchers to watch over humanity. These angels came down, saw the beauty in women, went and had intercourse with these women, and through them having intercourse, giants were made. All these dark creatures that we know, vampires, werewolves, whatever, came through that, because you can't mix, so to say, angelic blood with regular humans. So they corrupted themselves. And then I think it even says in the Revelations, or I forgot which book, that God like trapped them. They taught humanity how to do like the tarot readings, astrology, astronomy, or the stuff where they're like horoscopal stuff, alchemy, which was stuff humans were never supposed to know in the first place.
And so with that,
does that go with your story? Make sense?
Pretty much. And I think that the main point is this right here, is that because of this, God limited mankind to 120 years. Prior to that, you were living like 500 years. Yeah, hundreds of years. But because of this, he was like, no, we're going to cut this short. So he cut. There's nobody alive. I don't care what they say. You can look around the world. If they may pop up and be like, oh, this guy's 130. Okay, prove it. Prove that he's really 130, because like my great grandmother, for example, we didn't even know exactly how old she was because she was lying about her age so much to get work or for traveling purposes back then. And then she forgot it. And there was no way to like verify that. But to my knowledge, you can look it up. Nobody's reaching 120, or you're going to reach 120 and you're going to die.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that's the trip about scripture, is that as mythical as they make it out to be, I can actually pull up a lot of things that are in there, and I can show you things that are like, well, then how did this book know this?
Yeah.
If this was supposed to be fake, how did this book predict and know this? Which is a topic I want to get into Revelations next one though, but that's a whole episode.
Revelations Revelations is a couple episodes, bro.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of prophecies in there. There's a lot of statements, some things that are not even like what actually it still would be prophetic, right? Like I'll give you one. I'll give you one, Jim, which I didn't even think too much crazy of. In the book of Revelations, it speaks about that there will be 144,000 Jews who will be making it into heaven, right? When it talks to the Gentiles, which would be literally everybody else who's a believer, but you're not a Jew, it can't give you the number. It says it's uncountable, but it obviously it's way more than the amount of Jews, right? How long ago was this scripture written, right? Okay. How would somebody back then know that there would be a smaller portion of Jews than anything else? How would they not think or assume that Judaism was going to explode and become this big old thing? How would they know? You know what's funny? I just looked this up like a few days ago. Literally like 30%, I believe, of the world's population is Christian. I think like 25 point something percent is Muslim, and 0.02% is Jewish. After all this time, how did that book know that population was going to remain the smallest out of everything else? That's a trip, ain't it? Like,
what I do know about the Jews though is that they don't do recruiting like how the Muslims and the Christians do it. We do go and we want to give the good word. People who follow Islam and they follow like the Muslim way of life, they're gonna go and they're gonna try to tell them about the Prophet Muhammad. Jews don't do that. Even if I've heard when like someone wants to convert into Judaism, the rabbi is like, no,
right,
like, we're not doing it. But if they see somebody who really does want to convert and they learn the Torah and they learn, because they have to go through like years of tests. I did like a lot of research on this. Then they let them in. So maybe he knew some knowledge of Jews just being, they want to be more secular on their own type shit. Not really, if you're not born through us, your mother's not a Jew, we're not going to take you. Maybe there's that. Maybe it's even deeper than that. I don't know. Maybe Jews became like that down the years because of all the persecution they went through and all the bullshit that they had to probably go through. They did go through.
Also consider this though. What we see as modern day Judaism is not what it was back then, biblical times per se. What you see today it's completely different. And that goes for a lot of different religions, right? What you would see today, it's not being practiced the same way that it was before. Because first of all, like, as far as my belief goes, the ancient Jews were not bad people. They were not up to, well, let me rephrase that. There's no good people. I'm going to start there. I used to think when I was a kid growing up, like these people are bad people, these people are good people. As I got older and as I started to study the word more, what I started to understand is I was always raised that the Jews were like the good people, even in the Bible. But if you read the Bible, they're back and forth.
Yeah.
Just like every other nation. There's nothing unique. You see this nation doing something wrong, then you see this nation doing something wrong, then you see this one doing right. There is no good nation. You just have good people from time to time, sprinkled in there.
that. That's why. That's why you can't generalize, bro. You can't ever generalize because there's good in every single group, like you just said, essentially.
Well, yeah, I guess I can see your point on that, and it's for sure because I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to blanket everything in the aspect of if I meet somebody who's Jewish today, and then I'm just like trying to take flight on this person, or I'm telling them that they worship the devil or whatever the case is, right? As a matter of fact, I have Jewish friends, but I'm just saying that what we know today and the way we see things were different.
Let's put context onto it for people who wouldn't understand. When you're saying, I'm not going to tell them that they're worshiping the devil.
Mhm.
Get into that so people know what you're getting.
I kind of was trying not to because I this episode's gonna. It's not going to go too much longer.
Just do it in 2 minutes, bro. Because I feel like it'd be better for people just to know without you just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
So they're just like, oh, okay, this is what this guy means.
So if you look into the Jewish faith,
I'll tell you what I think after. Go.
Of course. If you look into the Jewish faith, and you as a Christian, so I'm going to do this in particular. I'm not speaking to nobody unless you're a Christian. So I'm going to educate only Christians on this because I don't have time to speak to everybody. As a Christian, you are not a Christian unless you believe that Jesus is God, that Jesus is God in the flesh, right? That's it. Simplified. If anybody is to tell you that Jesus is not God or that he is boiling in excrement per se, then that's probably not something you want to like associate yourself with. The Talmud, which would be equivalent.
The Talmud.
Yeah.
As the Talmud says.
Right. Which would be the Jewish equivalent of like a New Testament. In that book, you can look this up for yourself. This is not a conspiracy or whatever. It says that Jesus is boiling in excrement. Never forget who it was.
In the Talmud, though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Never forget who it was that really wanted Jesus dead. This is not a mythical person, first of all. So whether you believe in his godship or not, historically speaking,
Christ lived.
He lived. We even have
records on
this. Time exists based off of his life and death. That's why you have BC and AD. Literally, that's why that time system was created. But so he was a man who lived and who did die. Who killed him and why was he killed and what was the motivation? The Jews believed that he was a false Messiah, and that he was blaspheming, by claiming to be God in the flesh. And so at the end of the day, just really put these things together. Again, I can't get to this all in 2 minutes. Who killed the person that we consider God before he resurrected, obviously, because he's the living God? And what was the reason? And how does that faith or religion still exist today, but yet you as a Christian are supposed to be supporting that? Doesn't make sense. They tell you your enemy is Muslim, but nobody Islamic killed Jesus. And as a matter of fact,
Islam came like 500 years after Jesus.
And even then, whether or not they say that he is God or not, they respect Jesus. They respect Jesus and they respect Christianity.
Heavily. And I think it's time that I must expose myself. This whole time, Javon, I've secretly been a Jew. And as the Talmud says, I don't give a fuck what the Talmud says, you cocksucker. That's Sopranos for all my Soprano fans out there. So not every Jew believes in what the Talmud says. What the Talmud says. They don't believe, all of them don't. As we know, there's multiple denominations in Judaism as there is in Christianity. But I get what you're saying. You didn't really hit the mark on why you're saying that devil thing. I don't think that they think they're doing that. And neither will I make that statement that, oh, you're worshiping the devil. Let God be the judge.
I've literally heard rabbis say this.
And if a rabbi said that, then maybe they shouldn't have said that. But I don't think that's really what it is. There are, and I've showed you, there are some places in the Bibles where it literally says like the truth will be blinded to the Jews. I've sent you the verses, which again, this is another whole episode type shit to get into. But yeah, religion is very deep and interesting, bro. When you get into it, you look into it. Everyone has their own thoughts. Everyone believes one thing. They believe another thing.
I guess one thing I'll say, because now what you're specifying, Revelations 2:9, I believe it is.
That says the Jews are blind?
It says no.
Are blinded or per se?
No, it says those who claim to be Jews but are not, but are really a synagogue of Satan. So you can't, if you're a synagogue of Satan, that means that you worship Satan. That, like if somebody says you're a synagogue of God, that means you worship God. If you're a synagogue of cheeseburgers, you worship cheeseburgers.
Is it directly though? Are they directly or indirectly worshiping the devil?
So I think
if what you're saying it is
what's
true,
the word?
Esoteric,
right? So like sometimes,
like the Kabbalah and stuff.
Exactly. So like you have people,
but then there's Kabbalistic Judaism and there's regular Judaism, bro. There's conservative Judaism, Reform Judaism. Like there's a million types of Judaism.
I would say it's the same thing with living in a country and paying taxes, and then the government making a decision with those taxes. You could say that you're not doing what your government is doing, but you still pay those taxes and you contribute to whatever is happening. And so what I'm saying is that at the very top of Judaism, devil worshiping. I don't even care. Somebody can come here, they can throw blows, they can do whatever they want to do. I'm not even saying I'm trying to fight you about this. I'm just telling you, I'm here. Like I said, this platform is important to me because I get to speak what I have learned and what I've researched and say it, whether anybody agrees or doesn't. On the lower level, I'm positive that there are millions of people who identify as Jewish, not Jews, because they're not Jews, they're Jewish, who identify as that type of religious background that will tell you, no, I don't worship the devil.
Well, let me say this. Your thoughts don't represent all of our thoughts. I don't know if you agree with him. That's your thing. My whole thing is
just educated. You guys know a lot about religion.
Yeah, bro. I love theology. But this is what I would say. I let the judgment be upon God. My job as a person, as somebody who follows Christ, is to help everyone as much as I can to kind of divert hate and turn it into love. I'm not here to say you're worshiping the devil, you're worshiping this and you're worshiping that. I know who I worship, which is the one and only true God, Jesus Christ. And I'm just here to help people as much as I can. And if you don't believe in it, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, you're this and you're that, you're worshiping this and you're that. That's the way you look at it. That's your research. And that's, like you said, bro, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to what you find to be true. Nobody should put you down for that. But it doesn't represent my thoughts or what I believe.
100%. I would never even claim that there's three people up here, so I would never claim that what I know to be true.
I'm just saying it for the audience.
Exactly.
There are some people who are dumb and they're like, oh, so the whole show believes this.
Of course,
this way.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. No, so bro. I would never claim that if I've done research and I know something, that means that everybody up here is behind me in what I say. I only speak for myself, but 100%. I just want to, for myself, I'm not giving you guys opinions. It would be the same thing about me saying it's an opinion that Christians worship Jesus. That's not like, if you research it, you will see that's who Christians worship is Jesus. It would be the same thing with saying a Muslim worships Allah. If you research it, you'll see what it is. But what I think is funny, what you brought up earlier, right, is that how you brought up like how closed off they are and how they don't recruit and let nobody in.
Mm-hmm.
I will say it's very hard to actually research what's really going on there because like it's closed off to us. And we get this one thing of like positivity.
I wouldn't, because we can see the Torah, bro. We can read the Talmud. And we know that there's Jews who don't go off the Talmud. We know there's some that do go off it. And there is, bro. You just have to research the right things. You got to get those first-hand sources, as in you're talking to people who are under Judaism.
I've yet to meet a Jew like I'll put it like this. I've met hardcore Muslims who can share a lot about the Quran and they're willing to. I've met hardcore Christians who can share a lot about the Bible and they're willing to. In my entire life, I've never met a Jew who is willing to share or clarify things.
Because they don't care to. They really don't care. They believe that what they're doing is right. And again, they're not recruiting. Christians and Muslims recruit. They don't care to recruit, bro. We're the chosen people, right? How the Jews think. It's us. We're moving the way we're moving. I don't need to come to you and prove anything to you. You want to come and salute Christ in front of me? You go ahead. That's what I've noticed, how Jews act in general.
They will not, like, I've seen videos of them socking out females for just preaching the word of God.
No. That's, again, denominations. Those are usually the ones in Israel that are very conservative. They got the curls and stuff.
Right.
Those are the ones who are really pushing it. But you're not going to see any Reformed Jews or any of the modern Jews we have in Cali doing anything of that sort, bro.
All right. Well, we're entering the second quarter of the year. How's everyone doing with their goals so far?
As the Talmud says. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, man, I hope all our audience is still doing good with their goals for this new
100%.
year because it's entering the second quarter.
Right.
Don't forget how you started the year, how you wanted to keep going, how you want to finish it. Keep pursuing your goals. Keep winning.
Yeah.
You know?
Never give up.
I think that what I would leave everybody with is, to stay prayed up. Make sure that you are the version of yourself that you're prepared to leave here as. Tomorrow's not promised. So don't push off anything that you have, like he's saying, like goals and whatnot. Just make sure that whatever it is you think that you're going to be someday, be that today.
Right.
Because that's how I'm living my life, is I'm that today.
Exactly.
So
That's Marcus Aurelius, right? Like that. If live every day as if it's your last.
Never heard of the guy. No, I'm just
You've never heard of Mark? Go read
So never heard of the guy. No.
Okay, book of the day for our audience. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Like facts, bro. Spitting game in that book, bro. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, do your due diligence. Research is always great. I wish the best for everybody. May God bless everybody who's watching us. And is that an episode? Is there anything you want to add on?
That's Boss Talk for you guys.
That's Boss Talk.
Till next time.
Till next time.